What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Redline Racing Garage. You ready for this? A lot has changed. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. As you can tell by the title of this video, yes, we have a little bit of explaining to do. I do feel like this episode is necessary for us to actually move forward as a channel. So let's get right into it. Yes, we did get rid of the Integra, and I kind of did give up on the whole drag racing thing as a whole. I do think that ever since with the 8th gen build and then now with the Integra, it's been about, I'd say, close to 4 years now, which I've been trying to attempt to run some good numbers and actually do this seriously, the drag racing thing. I do feel like it has took a major toll on me financially, physically, mentally. There were times where I kind of was like highly addicted to it. That's basically all I could think about, was getting to the track and finishing this build and doing this and doing that and running these numbers. And I do feel like every single time I went to the drag strip, I was highly disappointed. The only time I do feel like I enjoyed it was with the red EG, with the maroon EG, with like a low horsepower, like 420 horse, ran a 10.9. That's basically, in hindsight now, that was like the highlight of me doing the drag racing thing and going to the track and doing all this stuff, which is kind of sad if you think about it, because I bought the car the way it was. I basically retuned it, talking about the EG. We put a tune on it. We barely did anything to the car, and it ran numbers like out of nowhere. It ran a 10.9, and if I worked at it, I probably would have ran maybe even like a 10.8, 10.7, who knows. So with me saying this, I came to a conclusion that I have to give this up for the time being. I gotta focus on different things. Also with the channel, I do feel like it's not going in the direction that I wanted it to, and I don't really want to give up on the channel. Don't get me wrong, I did think about it. I was thinking about giving up, but I'm not that type of person to just let go so easily. Especially the fact is that I really enjoy making videos, and all the editing and making the videos, and the creativity and all that stuff that goes along with making a video. So I was thinking about actually pulling the plug on everything. So kind of going back to what I was saying about the drag racing, let's put the channel aside for now. So I did get rid of the Integra. I did get rid of the trailer, so it's basically concrete. Whereas if I do end up getting back into it, it probably won't be a trailer and a whole setup, like a crazy setup like that. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like my heart was in the right place at the time, but now it's not there anymore. With all the disappointment that I had to deal with, I do feel like, again, physically, mentally, financially, I need a break from all this stuff, and see where things go. I owe that to myself, because I've been really dedicated. A huge chunk of my life I dedicated for that purpose, to the channel and whatnot and all these things. So I do feel like I owe it to myself to kind of give myself a break and kind of recalibrate my life, in a sense, where see where things go. But I'm not giving up on, the channel and content. And I do feel like there is so much potential in different cars as well. So we do have a new car to the channel. It's not a drag car. Um, it can be, but I do think that I need to probably shy away a little bit from that area. And obviously, still making content, still will be making content. Another thing is a point that I wanted to address is that the whole Honda thing, like that's where my heart was at. It still is. Um, but I do feel like it's, the Honda content, there's so much of that content out there that it's hard for me to kind of build my channel off of that content, especially now where, the channel is up for about just over 2 years now, probably about 2.5 years. And it's not exactly where I would want it to be. Don't get me wrong. I do feel, I'm really grateful for where I've gotten it to and all my subs and all you people watching. I really appreciate you guys. Don't think that I'm taking you guys for granted, because I'm not. Um, I really want to build something because I truly love making videos. So again, the fact that we had to put the drag racing aside for now doesn't mean that the channel, is gonna die or anything like that. It's just it probably will take a little bit of a different turn in a sense. I do feel like a lot more attention has been given to anything other than Honda. That's just what I can see how the channel is going, and different types of videos. There's close to 200 videos, I believe, on the channel, probably close to that. And the Hondas, there's so much Hondas out there, guys, that a channel like mine, trying to build it, I don't think Honda is the way to do it, because there are so many other channels with way better Honda content. Um, Another thing is that I do feel like, that the track day videos are probably where it's at mostly. That's where the excitement is. But you have to understand that that's where all the money is as well. Every time I went, to a track day, and all the prep and all the stress and getting the car there and then running it, and then every single time being super disappointed with how the cars were doing. Especially the fact that the last track day we went with the Integra, I always thought it was my error, like I was doing something wrong at the track, that it's not the car, it's me. And then I let Rui, Mateus Racing, Rui, the professional drag racer, I let him get behind the wheel of the Integra, and he had the exact same issues. So I was like, okay, so it's probably not me, it's probably the car. So then I started thinking really hard, like, is this, what I want to do? Is this how I want to move forward, where there's always issues with the cars? Spending so much time and money and effort into going to the track, being disappointed every single time, being super disappointed. And every time something happens at the track, you guys can see most of my videos at the track, they're not happy videos where you see me jumping up and down and so happy about the times we ran and how the car's performing and how the car's doing. There's always something wrong. So obviously, coming to the conclusion with myself that it just doesn't make sense. For me, it doesn't make sense. As much as I love to do it, and with the position that I'm in life, and trying to figure out some other things, it doesn't make sense. For me, it doesn't make sense to do this right now. So, especially with all the hard work with the 8th gen, and now, the Integra being also a disappointment. And I just said, you know what? It's time to think long and hard about if this is gonna actually work out or not, or if it even makes sense to pursue something like this. I'm at a point in my life where you can basically say, you know, I'm in the prime of my life, and I do feel like if I don't take my life seriously, something, it's just not gonna go right. Where now every second counts. Like this is how I feel. Every second right now, every decision I make, every second, it counts. And right now I'm really thinking about the future and what's gonna come ahead. And you know, I spent basically my whole life up until now, my early 30s, where I feel like I've experimented from the beginning of my life up until now. What works, what doesn't work, what makes me happy, what doesn't, you know, what I should do. And it doesn't make sense. Drag racing, it doesn't make sense, because I do feel like it's a waste of time for me right now. There's so many other things that I can be doing. Don't get me wrong, I love cars and I will always love cars, and I always want to make videos, and my life is always going to revolve around cars either way. It's always going to revolve around cars. So this is why I think that the channel is still going to survive, because of the love for cars. You know, drag racing is just a part of it, and I do feel like that part, I basically closed the door on that for now. But I do feel like you close one door and another one will open. And I do feel like if I put my time and effort into, like, video wise, if I put my time and effort into something that I do feel like the channel kind of grew or is attracting more attention on, then that's the only way to grow the channel. And that's the only way that I will, you know, be satisfied with what I'm doing on a creative level. So, you know, not trying to, I know I've been talking for about, you know, over 10 minutes, but I do feel like there needs to be an explanation. Some of you guys might care, some won't. I'm basically pulling the trigger. I have pulled the trigger. Now it's just basically the after effects of what's it gonna be like. You know, to those who want to continue to support me and watch, and you know, I will be putting out videos. Another thing is, I'm probably going to be focusing more on the CLA. I know it's, you know, I put a couple videos out. They seem to be doing good. CLS has been, you know, previous CLS has been doing great. Like, that's like the highest views I got on the channel. This is why I do feel like the CLS was a really good choice to kind of, you know, open my eyes and see what works, what doesn't. Especially with the beginning of like 2 years of the channel, you kind of have to experiment, see what works, see what doesn't. And I do think that this is what the process was. And I came to a point where now I know what works, what doesn't, especially for the channel, and what works for me financially, physically, mentally, all that stuff. So, you know, with the CLS, there wasn't, there was lots of views and there was barely any effort in the video. So I do feel like that's the only way to move forward if I want to continue making videos. Now, on that note, I'm not giving up on Hondas. I still have the EG, which I built from scratch. Like, right now it's in the paint shop. It's been there for a while. You know, the guy that's working on it, he's a great guy. He does great work. It's just that right now the EG has been put on the back burner because he's a one-man show and he has a lot of, you know, insurance claims, stuff like that. So I don't think the EG is going to be ready this year, sadly. But I still plan on making a lot of content on Honda stuff, especially with the EG. Once that thing is done, it's going to be a gem, like one of a kind. Yeah, so I think, you know, early next year in the spring, maybe even before that, you know, it'll be painted. I'll bring it back. We'll make a lot of content on that. I think right now, as opposed to racing wise, there's always Mexico. I think that's where we're gonna be kind of doing the testing and doing runs and stuff like that. It's probably gonna be out in Mexico if anything does go down. That's kind of where the racing is gonna take place. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Integra's gone, trailer's gone. I did buy another car, so that's gonna be on the channel shortly, but I do feel like this video has to be out there and it has to be, you know, heard. for my subscribers, and then moving forward from there. So that'll pretty much do it. Like I said, it needed to be said, it needed to be done. That's where I am in the point of my life. And yeah, we'll see where it's going to take us moving forward. I know it's a small channel, but a lot of people are watching. To those of you that are, don't think that I'm taking you for granted. I'm not. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. And yeah, so that'll pretty much do it. And look forward to the new car reveal. I know I'm not as excited as I should be, as I usually am with new cars and reveals. Deep down, I am really happy. I do think that I made the right choice, the right decision. And then we'll see how the channel's gonna react and how things are gonna go from here. But I do feel more calm and more relaxed now that I don't have to deal with any drag racing stuff. I do feel like that was kind of had a lot of weight for my shoulders. Now that that's all gone, I do feel a little bit more relaxed and more focused and more sharp to move forward and do the things that still that I enjoy. So yeah, that's enough of me talking. I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to everything that I have to say. Some of you may agree, some of you may not, but that's a decision that I made for myself and for the channel. So yeah, that'll pretty much do it. Look out for the car reveal video. I do believe that I'm probably gonna go and film that right now. So I hope you guys are still excited and still pumped up for what's to come. That'll pretty much do it. Peace out, guys.